Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to our Season 1 finale of Naughty or Nice series, where today it will be either naughty or nice. Sometimes we've had even combination of both, and this one actually has the potential, if I play it out and you see the whole thing, to even be a naughty or nice in the comments. So we are here, we're playing randoms 12v12, we're in the Marseille, and I just love this French heavy cruiser. It's just amazing, I love it a lot, and so this battle is going to be, you're going to see a lot in the comments at different points happening. So one of the fun things, I'll talk a little bit about my battle play, but what I kind of want to talk about is the Schlieffen player here saying, please lose, I need the win, as he talks to the enemy team. And so my response is, welcome to Randoms in 2026, pain. And then it's mostly takes goat sacrifices to appease matchmaking at this point. Now, you're going to watch our little friend in the Schlieffen, see what he decides to do later. That probably explains why he's having a difficult time winning battles. So, in addition to that, we have a CV that is going to be focusing us at different points, which is, yeah, you're going to see how that one turns out. But with that all said and done, again, I just love this cruiser. I really need to future it more often. It's a comfort play for me because I feel really confident in playing with it, with having all 9 turrets up in the front of the ship. And if I remember serves correctly, I think they're 330s, maybe they're 305s or something. I'm just basing off the top of my head. Haven't been on WoWs for a hot minute now. With the B turret being able to turn basically a complete 360, as it were. But turrets A and C have to turn accordingly. The fun thing about this ship is it goes incredibly fast with the engine boost. You get a reload booster, you get a hydroacoustic search. The ship is just kind of fun, all said and done, and also that we have access to 70,000 plus hit points. So, now, keep an eye on our friend in the Schlieffen to see what he ends up being up to this game, as he's activated his hydro. Wise, because we do have a submarine over here, and you see some sub-torps. We also have the Havrosk, as I think the Schlieffen, Mr. Schlieffen or someone's putting pressure on him. And Havrosk has a pretty poor conceal, so I decide I'm going to actually go for it here. I want to see if I can knock out the Havrosk. We have access to our reload booster. And we already have complaining at sea cap. We're already losing at sea because of the Hawaii, apparently. But in the meantime, we pick up the Havrosk. And so we're going to activate that reload booster. I basically don't want the Havrosk to be able to get away here. I mean, I've got my engine boost going. He's got his engine boost going. And we just want to make sure we get the kill secured. And when you look over to the left, our little Schlieffen has pushed in, and he's pushing in to not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 enemy ships. Imagine how that one's gonna go. Not good. And so now I'm telling the Schlieffen, as he's about to die, like, you pushed in too far. Pointing it out that maybe in hopes that he'll have better chances in the future, and recognizing the error of his ways, because you often lose games when you make bad plays like that and not contributing to the team as a whole. As in reality, the only reason he got the kill was because we pushed up pretty hard on the Havrosk. So we lose the Jean Bar. Schlieffen's trying to go dark, but it's just not going to end up happening for him here. And he will die to the enemy Minotaur, who we're going to be dealing with a little bit later. Now, in the meantime, I'm not comfortable with how things are playing out here. I could kind of bow in and deal with this Pommern, but the fact that there's a Yamato in the background, there's a Minnow that's already showed focus and interest in on us, there's a CV that's also pushing in on us, this isn't a good flank for us to stay. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to leave this position and we're basically going to fall back. So basically, kind of the big thing that's going to be coming up here is where I was referencing that, you know, it could even be naughty or nice in the comments, depending on how would you view this if you were a teammate in the battle and you saw what I end up doing here. In the meantime, our secondaries are going. We're trying to get our turrets swung around here. Again, we just want to back off and not be focused. You know, this FDG. So it's basically, it's 3 battleships are shooting at us in addition to the CV being focused on us as well. So now you could you could make an argument that I could sit on the island, but I don't really feel comfortable doing that with the sub kind of just lingering around. The ability to be eating secondaries from both Pommern and FDG, and the fact that the CV has already shown an interest in us several times because of Malta's dive bombers. I don't really feel comfortable that it would be a wise choice to sit there. So basically, all said and done, I'd just assume back off here. Maybe I can slow down and lob some shells in here. But here comes Malta with those AP dive bombers. So the fact that he's coming back, now I'm regretting that I even thought about slowing down. And I need to be moving. And I'm still reversed, which is kind of dumb. Seeing the Malta coming, I should be just full sending it, because I'm making myself more of a still target. Which isn't wise to do with the Malta here. I'm basically asking for it at this point and making it easier for him. But I'm thinking maybe I could do a little juke, which we do get a juke there. So that might have been part of my thinking there, all said and done, because we do have really good acceleration here. But Malta is looking to get a second strike off. We see our Minotaur friend, so being further away with it being kind of a more battle cruiser, sometimes we can be cheeky and get some salvos off. Far off. I'm going to keep turning to port here. And again, the speed saves us here, all said and done. So I'm communicating with my team. Always communicating with the team helps a lot. Just that I'm getting focused. And that I need to I have to back off, because the CV is making life miserable, in addition to the spotting the CV is providing for the FDG and whatnot. So rather, you know, when you kind of get pushed more outside of the range, it's easy for enemy ships to forget about you. Like our little Minotaur friend as he moves up to cover, as that our flank is definitely collapsing here. But we are able to pick the kill up off of him. So I'm just kind of feeling bad a little bit in the comments there, trying to help Barbiano, but all said and done, did the best we could. Okay, now what you're going to see here is basically I'm probably going to end up speeding it up, but this is where there could be a mixture of, you could either ignore what I'm about to do, or you could criticize what I'm about to do, or you can applaud what I'm about to do. It kind of goes into those, either one of those 3 categories essentially. Because what I'm expecting here is that there's going to be a big push from A with the Yamato, with the FDG, with the Pommern coming up the 1-3 line, roughly, if you will. So that's what I'm expecting that's going to take place here. So I decide that I'm going to take a position and sitting on the island here. And my thinking is I will punish them as they push up, or ideally set up a crossfire as they push from Alpha to Bravo, that I can shoot their broadside here. That's the thinking here that I want to be able to have. So first I'm going to sit on this backside of this island, because I'm kind of thinking Pommern is just going to go for it here. But part of the challenge in World of Warships is actually trying to anticipate what the enemy players are going to do. Now I am getting ready, I'm going to get ready to fast forward it here. But the reality is I sit basically in this position working these 2 islands for the next 3.5 minutes with I don't think we fire 1 shot in the next 3.5 minutes. So it ends up being we kind of rely on the team. Now, you have people jumping in the comments in the chat like, what is our Marseille doing? He's being completely useless. He's doing nothing. He's just chilling out, right? And that's, honestly, I'm a bit surprised, because that's not what ends up happening. Now, let me go ahead and take it through. Note that we're at the 10 minute and 20 seconds into the battle marker. So see what ends up happening here. Now you're going to see I'm writing in the chat here, and that I was expecting the FDG to push through. Never mind. And we're going to have a pretty good conversation with our CV player. CV player is actually playing really well, and he's paying attention to the battle, the mini-map. He has pretty good situational awareness of what's happening. So he says, Marseille, stop, you're good. Now look, we're at 8 minutes and almost 8 minutes 20 seconds since I fast forwarded. You know, how many people would just be ready, who would just be screaming in the comments at you for being in a position where you actually aren't contributing? Rather, what we're being here is, one, we got our heels off, but we're also seeking to be an anchor of support if the enemy team, we get some shots of them pushing through A towards Bravo. Because basically, our CV player understands at this point, we just play win by points. And the CV is pointing out the same thing I'm thinking, was just to be ready to engage when they make themselves known. And focusing on the objective is really important in World of Warships. It's not just about the kills, but it's about the capture zones, it's about the points. And we have the points lead right now, which is just fantastic. So there's not a stress or a pressure to play aggressive. Usually what ends up happening, even when you have teams that have larger point leads, you know, we have a decent one, is that you have your team just throws. So the team that's in leading cap control, map control, point lead, they just end up throwing. But here we just get to have the opportunity to just chill out and contribute here. So we're activating our top grade gunner because the Palmer is coming in. Now the Palmer can really realistically only sail that way for so long. So I'm expecting him to push back in, and our CV, who's on the 9 line, is calling out what this Palmer is doing on the 2 line. So we're just showing really good situational map awareness as he flies around this, that, and the other. And we're going to utilize our main battery reload booster, so we get a 7K salvo there. We're going to reverse here. He looks like he avoided the torps. Get an 8K salvo in there. We're still going to reverse. Our sub Bilal's taking a bit of a hit and damage there. And I don't know how much damage he did that time. Then we're just going to ease back forward and he dies. So Se-Young is able to finish him off there. So as we lose the Bilal to the enemy Pomeranian there. So basically just sitting there the whole time ends up we take like, we probably took about 20K plus from him, that Pomeranian there, all said and done. Which brings out the ability of our Se-Young and our other teammate in B to not be pressured so much. So it shifts the battle focus back into the enemy spawn versus having this Pomeranian break out into our spawn out of A. So it was a long play there, essentially, but it was a very important one to end up locking that down. I mean, you can say that perhaps we haven't contributed a lot, but when you think about it, when you look here, we have 2.2 million potential damage. We were that focused, taking attention on the enemy team. We've even provided 46,000 plane damage, which doesn't mean a ton with Malta, and some objective points and some spotting damage there, all said and done as well. Now at this point, there's no need for me to step right back into Alpha because the CV, the Malta, has already made it quite clear that he doesn't like when enemy ships go into his cap. And we have the points lead, so we can play it a bit safe here. So basically, the idea here is to reinforce our team here at Bravo. Now, our CV is crawling out things such as just defend what we have. We don't need to push, which is exceptional teamwork. Ends up being a very nice game, if you will, where there was a very much of a potential to be naughty. You know, if we wanted to yell and call Shalif stupid as an example early on, or yell and call me as being too passive and not contributing for sitting up so long up on the B line. But the reality is, in the game, was that we had control of the battle. We had control of the map. So those opportunities are okay. Now, it's hard in World of Warships because sometimes just things fall apart. And then, you know, if our team started evaporating and dying, that probably would have likely been yelled at for sitting up on B1. But that wasn't the case of the battle. So we're relying on teammates and what they're saying as well. And just complimenting here. So, and this is probably the most positive CV I've ever seen in World of Warships almost. So he even compliments me for kind of playing the team objective there. We get 180,000 all said and done. So I end up complimenting him as well, which I don't always compliment CV players. I mean, of course I do in game if they play really well in terms of karma. So even though we weren't playing for several minutes of the battle, you're going to see the personal score, team score, and whatnot here. So almost 180,000 damage with the 1 kill. Meaningfully knocked out that Havarask with the assisted indestruction there. Knocked out the Minotaur, so pretty helpful to get rid of that DPM pressure to our team. And we place second. So as the Sejong, and even the Hawaii that was getting crapped on does really well. He also breaks 2,000 base XP. And then the Independencia CV player scoring on 4th, and our Chieftain player 2nd from the bottom. So it ends up being kind of a core of us moving through, carrying the game here. You know, all said and done, we did 105,000 damage on that Pomeranian, so we definitely were dishing the damage out on him, and meaningfully knocked out the Minotaur there, and 21k to him, and 60,000 damage we took. All said and done here. So this was just really refreshing. You know, the amount of games I have in Warships these days where at high tier we actually have people being very affirming and positive on the NA server and encouraging, and just recognizing what needs to happen in the game is quite rare these days. So that was just really nice to see. So this one was kind of like yeah, a nice way to end the Nadir or Nice series. We got to be a little cheeky, of course, with the Schlieffen there as well, and the in-game chat. But also that this one's a little bit different because it would be very easy to criticize myself for sitting back there for as long as I did, but it paid off dividends, all said and done, and having control of the battle with the rest of the team working together. So I hope you're having a good weekend, and my goal is to try to get one more video this week before I take off tomorrow for work for a week. But I will be back next Saturday. So if you liked today's video, thumbs up. If you didn't, get thumbs down. Subscribe to see more. If you subscribe, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Until next time, take care.